Hey guys, my name's Kirneill from SENSEQUALITY, and today I'm going to show you how to get an advantage over other gamers by winning more gunfights and being more consistent in those gunfights, and the 5 things that are really holding you back as a gamer in those gunfights in Fortnite, Call of Duty, Valorant. It could be any game. I'm going to do the gameplay in Call of Duty today, but this literally goes for any game here, any kind of FPS game. It just works, okay? So basically, if you want more FPS like this, then you can go ahead and visit SENSEQUALITY.com, where we got you covered and we can make sure that you have the same kind of gaming setup and the same kind of smoothness as the professional players, and you're killing just like the professional players in your game there. So let's get into it here. So the first thing that we're gonna go through is basically we're gonna go through simple gameplay, and for the people that aren't serious, you're gonna go ahead and just skip over this part. Most people assume that they know like what they're talking about when it comes to gameplay, but trust me guys, like I thought I was a really good gamer. I played ranked and stuff like that, but I watch pros and you don't see it until you know it. You don't see what they're doing differently to make them become pros, but it's the simple things, it's the fundamentals that makes pros really good versus really good gamers here. So basically, and that could go for sports too. So basically, let's get started. So as you can see, I came out of that spawn spot right there, right? And basically, I'm going to show you what a normal gamer does, and then I'm going to show you what a professional gamer does. So a normal gamer would come around this spawn spot. Oh, sorry, just got killed by a bot there. So let's say I just spawned in right over here, right? This is a spawn spot. A normal gamer would come around this spawn spot and run into it and then aim down sight, right? There's 3 errors happening here. Number 1, if you run into it, you're already at a delay advantage. I would say disadvantage, 200 millisecond disadvantage here. So if I spawn in and I just aim down sight like that, you are donezo, okay? So the first thing that you want to do is when you're running around this corner, you'll see pros slide into this corner, right? So they'll just slide into that corner there, and they'll try to just either strafe you like this or pre-aim you behind cover here. And basically, what does that do, Kirneill? That basically makes sure, number 1, you can't kill them because they're behind cover, and basically they have the advantage there when they're shooting. And number 2, what that does is make sure that you're getting more aim assist if you're on controller and you're strafing back and forth. They're getting more aim assist there. So while the normal gamer, just look at this, while the normal gamer is just coming up like that, right? Basically, a professional player is coming up like this and strafing back and forth like that. And they might hit like a slide cancel and some movement and stuff like that here. I'm on keyboard, so I can't really do movement, guys. I play it usually on controller. So they might hit movement like that just to actually just break your camera and break your computer, basically. But essentially, the reason why that's important is because you're not going to see them. They're going to see you before you see them. So the first 3 things is basically strafing, right? Having very good positioning, and then actually like pre-aiming and using your movement to your advantage there. A professional player, what they're focused on is they're always ready for the next gunfight. A lot of people, like, they're just moving around the map like this, just going. But as you can see, if you look at professional gamers, what they're actually doing differently is basically they're always ready for you. I would look at Celium if you're in Call of Duty. That's a really good gamer to look at. You will never catch them off guard. And that's why professional gamers are usually better than a very, very good gamer, because you'll never have the advantage over them. Now, if you're on controller, we're going to start getting into the technical stuff. If you're on mouse and keyboard, you can skip through this part. If you're on controller, you want to fix your controller delay there. The way that you do that is you would download a program called Driver, right? And I could link it down below. It's a Lord of Mice program. And you would just click on this, click on all, look for your controller, click on filter, click on 1000, install servers, and you're good. Basically, that's going to make sure that your controller is running at its lowest latency as possible, and you should be good there. Now, the second part of that is basically getting the best controller here. So let me just put this right here. So if you're on Xbox, you want to get a Fly Digi here. I believe Tony is the one that recommended this in general. This is like the best Xbox controller possible. Fly Digi Vader 4 Pro. If you play on Halo, don't get this. If you play on any other game, this is the best Xbox controller here. And I'm going to leave this link down below for you guys just so you can buy that there. If you are on a PS4 or a PS5 controller, don't worry, just go ahead and just do that controller overclocking method and you should be good. If you're getting an error with your controller overclocking method, you're going to look up core, right? And you should see core isolation on your Windows. And what you're going to do is you're just going to turn memory integrity off, right? And that is going to actually fix the controller overclock there. So that is one major way that you can gain an advantage, because most people, they don't even have their controllers overclocked, and 90% of the gamers, I believe, don't have their controllers overclocked there. So if you're on a controller, that's one way to already get a huge advantage over your competitor there. Now, let's get into the technical stuff. Usually this is what you guys watch me for. So, of course, we all know that FPS will give you an advantage here, but why does it give you an advantage? FPS gives you an advantage because you can see your enemies usually before they see you here. If you have a higher FPS, let's say 300, and you have a monitor matching that FPS, then you would actually have an advantage of somebody on console that's getting a 60 hertz or 60 FPS, 60 frames per second, because your game is just updating way faster. That's why people pay $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for their computer. And usually what I see from sensor quality optimizations and stuff is most of those computers aren't even optimized like correctly. So what you're going to want to do is make sure that that PC, that $5,000 PC that you bought, is actually tuned up so it's using the most performance that it can and giving you the most advantage that it can give you. Now, the second thing that you have to worry about is basically, of course, we said it, the monitor refresh rate. A lot of you guys that are getting high FPS don't have a monitor to match it. I would say the best monitors that are coming out right now is either the 240 hertz 4K monitors, or you can get 360 hertz. This will be 1440p monitors, or you can get a 500 hertz, 360, I would say, to 500 hertz, 1080p monitor, I would say. So these are the three best kind of monitors that you can get. Make sure the monitor that you're getting now, guys, it's 2025 when basically the time you're seeing this. You want to get an OLED monitor, okay? That's going to give you a major advantage. The game's going to look way better. It's going to have way less latency. It's just going to be better in general. So an OLED monitor is going to be the one for you. And if you want less latency and you want more of a input delay advantage, right, over your competitors, that's when you would go 1080p. That's why you see a whole bunch of CSGO players. They play on 720p, they play on 1080p because they want that advantage in regards to input delay. If you want more quality, I would go 4K monitor, 240 hertz, and I would make sure you have at least a 4090 or higher there, and you should be good there. If you want a balance of both worlds, that's when you would go with the 1440p, 360 hertz monitor, and you should be good there. Now, I would say one overlooked thing is audio. Now, we can fix this at SENSEQUALITY.com for you, and we can make sure that your audio is as best as possible for your particular game, so you can hear footsteps. But a lot of people don't understand why you would even fix audio. The reason why you would tune up your audio or make sure that you get a good headset or make sure that you have a good DAC and amp and all of that stuff is just to make sure that you can hear your enemy before they hear you. All gaming is making sure that you have more information than your competitor. Once you have the information quicker, that way you're going to have a major advantage over them. Imagine you can hear somebody, or you have a UAV in the air 24/7 showing you exactly where your competitor is, and they don't. Can you see how much of an advantage that is? That is a huge advantage. And that's why audio is so important. And you can just get your audio tuned at SENSEQUALITY.com. I'm not going to go much in depth with that. I would get IEMs. Those are the best for audio, for gaming in general. But other than that, you know where to find that. Now, let's go into the fourth thing here, latency. Okay, a lot of people make mistakes when it comes to latency and their internet in general, right? Most people just run a speed test. They see 1,000, 1,000, right? And they think that, oh, I have the best internet possible. While that remains consistent, it's not true necessarily. What I would do is find a website called Waveform. I can link that below if you guys want as well. Just let me know in the comment. You're gonna look for if you have the best buffer bloat possible. Now, what is buffer bloat? Basically, it's the delay that your internet provides that you can't see in your game. Your game shows you your ping, but buffer bloat is something on top of your ping. So basically, you want to make sure that reduce that as much as possible, because that's actually the latency that you have control of. A lot of you guys on cable and even fiber internet that have 1,000, 2,000, 2,000 usually have still a lot of buffer bloat and a lot of latency still on your connection. And one way to solve that is by getting like a NetDuma R3. I'll link that below. I'm not sponsored by any of this stuff, guys, except for SENSEQUALITY. That's how you could support me. But other than that, I would get a NetDuma because that's the best gaming router out there right now. And basically, that's going to fix your latency issues. And of course, if you want that tuned up as well, we handle all of that for you. Basically, everything that I'm providing you guys now, guys, is exactly what we provide to the professional players and exactly what we focus on to make sure that they have an advantage over you. So basically, a lot of people ask this question, Kirneill, why would I buy a router over the router that my ISP has given me or my internet service provider has given me? And the reason why you would do that is, number one, usually those internet service provider routers aren't up to date. Number two, they aren't gaming routers. They're not made to make your gaming faster. All they're there is to deliver you the service as efficiently as possible while saving the internet service provider money. And number three, it's taking away your control over your own internet here. They usually use cheap products to provide to you, and you're paying per month for that. So basically, imagine you're paying $40 a month, right, for your internet, but you're paying $20 on top of that for your internet service provider router. In 10 months, you could have already bought your own high tier, top tier gaming router. In a year, you could get the best router on the market, basically. So if you had your own router, not only are you saving money, but you're actually getting more bullet registration, you're getting better internet in general. It's a win all across it. You're saving money, you're getting better bullet registration, you're getting better internet, you're getting better speeds. I don't know why you would not have your own router, to be honest. So basically, that's the thing I would look for, like in terms of latency. There's a lot of ways you could fix latency in general. I would not at all trust the latency that the game provides. I would go on waveform, I would check your latency, I would make sure that that is lower than 100 milliseconds or 50 milliseconds. If it is higher than 50 milliseconds, guys, number one, get a NetDuma R3. Trust me, it's just going to be a good router for you. Number two, you can get an optimization from us and we can take care of you with that as well. But basically, these are the things, guys, that separates professional players from just regular gamers in general that are just really good. These are the things that will cost you gunfights that you have no idea about. And yes, it is pay to win. I am sorry to tell you, yes, all gaming is pay to win. That is exactly how they designed your game here. So if you want to win, you got to pay for it. That's just how it is. Don't hate the player, hate the game. So go ahead and visit SENSEQUALITY.com if you guys have any questions about this, or just leave a comment down below if you had any extra questions, and I'll make sure to take care of those. But you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and let me know if you have any questions down below here. Take care.